Imagine a world where people fought passionately for change, music ignited revolutions, and the most advanced technology was a color TV. The 60s and 70s were truly transformative decades, filled with cultural, social, and technological shifts. But there's more to this groovy era than meets the eye. So let's dive into things you didn't know about life back then. Trust me, some of these facts will blow your mind. First, let's talk about the social movements and cultural shifts that define these decades. The 60s and 70s were the heart of the civil rights movement, where leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. fought for equality and justice. Women's liberation also took center stage, with women demanding equal rights in work, education, and beyond. Anti-war protests dominated college campuses, with students standing up against the Vietnam War. But did you know that these movements often inspired each other? For example, tactics used in civil rights protests influenced anti-war demonstrations, creating a ripple effect of activism that shaped the world as we know it. Next, the music scene was more than just entertainment. It was a cultural revolution. Music festivals like Woodstock weren't just concerts. They were statements of freedom and peace. Artists like the Beatles and Bob Dylan wrote songs that became anthems of change. Dylan's song, "The Times They Are A-Changin'," was initially banned on certain radio stations because it was seen as too rebellious. The rise of rock, soul, and psychedelic music brought people together, often reflecting the social unrest and desire for change. Music in the 60s and 70s wasn't just background noise. It was the heartbeat of an era. Fashion was another form of rebellion. Iconic trends like bell-bottoms and tie-dye shirts symbolized the free-spirited vibe of the youth. As disco fever took over in the late 70s, fashion evolved to include flashy outfits, sequins, and platform shoes. But fashion wasn't just about looking cool. It was a statement. Technologically, the 60s and 70s felt like the future had arrived. Color television brought vibrant images into people's living rooms, making TV dinners a nightly tradition. Vinyl records were at their peak, and music lovers would spend hours flipping through albums at record stores. Muscle cars roared onto the scene, symbolizing freedom and the open road. Did you know that owning a color TV in the 60s was considered a luxury? Only the wealthiest households could afford one until prices dropped in the 70s. Finally, let's talk about everyday life. There were no cell phones or Google. People used rotary phones, sent handwritten letters, and relied on encyclopedias for research. The idea of instant communication was science fiction. Families gathered around the TV to watch shows live, and the fascination with space exploration peaked when the Apollo 11 mission landed on the moon in 1969. And yes, TV dinners were a big deal. Families would pop these pre-packaged meals into the oven and eat in front of the television, a tradition that started with the boom of TV culture. So there you have it, a world of social revolutions, iconic music, rebellious fashion, and groundbreaking tech. Which part of life in the 60s and 70s surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more time-traveling tales from Factual Findings. Stay groovy and keep exploring.